CBLOL.
We are into the draft already. I said they were chomping at the bit, and Liberty, with their young guns of their own, Juliera and Avenger certainly are. Trajan, we've already got the bans, so I'm going to let you handle this one.
These guys are kicking straight into it right here. Fairly standard across the board right now with the bans. The Nico still taking away, the Lucian denied from Natuno. In fact, Juliera was the last one to pilot it, but that Yumi's been left open, and Lost happy to pick it up.
And Trajan, it's just really standard. We've got Yumi open, we've got Lulu open, and Ranger showing off he's still young at heart. Flexing his muscles.
Yeah. We were looking for the Lulu, for the Lulu cosplay, but he's gone even more Lulu, if anything. He has gone full Yumi mode here in his second game.
He's embracing the Enchanter meta, and hey, I'm all here for it, right? We heard Takeshi talking about the fact that Ranger, he wasn't known as the most mechanical jungler. This guy is Giga Brain. Like, this is all about the macro, and when you can kind of put yourself on Yumi, where you don't have to be as mechanically intensive, it frees up your brain to really shot call for the team. And he said as well, Trick, already relieving a lot of pressure, now on the Yumi even more so. Trajan, I want to see Los Grandes pull off a macro perfect game.
Yes, the game one that we saw from them yesterday was not the cleanest. They did find the win. Natuno still very much an engine of success as he's locked in the Aphelios. I was looking at that Zeri going, okay, they've denied that one. And remember from that game one RMC, the Aphelios Yumi ended up kind of 1v9ing it.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Natuno on this Aphelios is an absolutely unholy terror. We're seeing the Annie as well picked up. We just saw Tuts absolutely crush on it. Lava picking it up. It's such a safe, reliable form of engage, and more importantly, it's been dominating a lot of these early skirmishes. Tibbers has just been doing so much work. The Ahri, sort of the other omnipresent mid laner at this point, but I actually think Annie's the winning side of that matchup, and the fact that Avenger's kind of picking the Ahri here, you have to do so much more to have the same impact as Lava and Annie.
I think the results certainly speak for themselves, right? The wins have been coming through for the Annies. We've seen the damage numbers being put up by the Annies today, especially have been astronomical. And now Avenger back on the Ahri. I've already complained enough about his build before. Let's see a Medjai's here today, okay? That's the key. Let's see if Liberty can take my incredibly loose play-by-play wisdom on board and see if he wants to go for that. As we get into the second round of the bans. Jungle focus from Liberty. Trick denied the Viego and the Lee Sin. And so far Lost focusing out the engage supports.
Yeah, and was, as far as supports go, he was a player who played a lot of defensive wardens, things like Braum, Tom Kench, Rel. Well, Rel is disabled on this match, so we won't be seeing that. But the Tom Kench and Braum are still options for the Zeri if you don't want to go with Enchanter supports, and Lulu is still on the table. It's not quite the Yumi, won't be able to keep up with Zeri, but it's still very, very useful for when Zeri finds herself getting caught.
Yeah, and I think it does give them a really nice lane matchup. The Lulu, I think, is often underappreciated in how well it's able to take control as part of this 2v2, and there it is locked in for Woz. So Juliera and Woz have a strong duo to match up here, and Juliera is someone from yesterday that, I'm going to be honest, I didn't feel too good about the split one. I thought he had a lot of positioning errors, but that game one was very solid from him, and I'm looking forward to seeing more good things today.
Yeah, and on the other side, Los Grandes still looking to round out their top and jungle, just locked in the Sejuani, which is a completely different look from what Trick played yesterday with the Viego, but much more in line of what I remember from him in 2022 summer when he was playing things like Volibear, like Trundle, like Set, more utility team-focused champions. Sejuani right up there with me.
Yeah, Boal taking the Jax once again to round it out. The same champion that he won with yesterday, and it is another very kind of by-the-numbers draft from Los Grandes. Game one yesterday was not the cleanest, but they did find the win, and they still have the scaling options once again. Now, the final answer from Liberty is the Gragas going into Chiari's hands.
I really like the pickup from Liberty. Their draft feels like it's going to counter a lot of what Los Grandes wants to do. Los Grandes draft, this is a draft that we'd have seen last split in playoffs, right? Just very straightforward team fight composition, group up, death ball. Liberty, on the other hand, the moment you pick up a Zeri, you're okay with the fights kind of breaking up into small pieces. You prefer the skirmishes, and Gragas forces that with the explosive cast. There's nothing you can do about it now. You've got the Zeri, you've got the Ahri, you've got a lot of champions who are able to have their own agency and kite around. So I like what Liberty have drafted, but this is a departure from what works for Liberty, which generally is the early game, the early oriented bot lanes. Zeri certainly isn't that.
Exactly. I was a little worried to see if Liberty would be functionally different with the roster changes they've made, but they're certainly drafting differently here. And now, Dia, you and I, we've already admitted that we are Liberty fans for our sins. Do you think they can take it here?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're seeing, these two teamfight compositions, and whenever that happens, I do favor the one that has a slightly easier way to execute. And in this particular case, things like Gragas and Wukong are all well and good. What I'm really wondering about for Los Grandes is whether they can use that Jax effectively once more. You mentioned that they've already found a win on it, but when you're dealing with a Jax and you have that side lane win condition available to you, it can be difficult to coordinate teamfights in the same way, RMC.
Yeah, and especially when we think of Bull's performance yesterday on the Jax, it really wasn't about the split push pressure. It was actually more about the team fighting. Bull gave and he also took away. There were some engages which are a little bit questionable, and he got caught out en route to the engage, where the other team was like, wait, we see him on the flank, we turn, we kill Bull, we force the 5v4. But there were also plenty of fights where he just jumped in and he got the perfect 3-4-man stun, which won Los Grandes in other fights.
Let's find out how it goes. We're on to the Rift and now. Los Grandes with, let's not forget, Netuno on the roster. Our hyper carry of yesterday are taking on Liberty, who have got a nice wombo combo of their own. Trajan, let's see how it plays out.
Exactly, Netuno. You can never discount this guy back on the Aphelios with a Yuumi to buff him up. The other 4 pieces of Los Grandes, I'm not 100% sold on yet. You know, I'm almost buying, I'm reaching out for them, but I'm not quite convinced. If this can give me a bit more confidence, I really want to see more out of Liberty. I did feel a little bit of that split one, week 1 magic, I'll be honest, RMC, so let's see if they can build on that and get themselves a win here today.
Okay, sure. Let's talk Los Grandes a little bit, because you're high in Netuno. You've got questions for other people. But Los Grandes had some roster changes as well. Last split, they were playing Hirit in the top lane, another sort of EU-West Korean import who came in here, was supposed to absolutely crush the top lane. Didn't quite happen, and now they've swapped to Bull, who has been doing pretty well domestically, a local domestic player coming up through the academy system as well, and he does well for himself. And there's questions of, can he match up to what Hirt was able to do? And Trick, Ranger role swap to support, partially to make space for Trick. And I agree, Trick didn't really stand out to me yesterday. And on the Sejuani today, it's not a carry champion, but I am looking for Trick to impress. He's a big import. He's taking up an import slot. He's got to make it work.
This is definitely going to be an important test, I think, for Los Grandes to me, just to see if they can take a clean win here. Then some of my doubts are going to ebb away, and some of the history and the veterancy on this roster, I think, is going to start shining through, and I can start to believe in it. But right now, Liberty, yesterday, they were playing active, they were playing aggressive, like the Liberty we were used to. And this might be a chance for them to crack open Los Grandes, who didn't end the season how they wanted. They had a decent playoffs run, but they couldn't get it all the way like they wish they could.
I like, Trajan, how you go from being a Liberty fan to talking about how Los Grandes have to win this, they have to win it clean, and then going back to Liberty, how they're going to come back in this. And
it's a conflicted place in my mind, RMC, I've got to tell you. There's a lot of thoughts rattling around in here. I can't keep them straight all the time.
And that's fair. I think it does say a lot about this particular matchup as well. The fact that we're not super confident despite all the big names on Los Grandes' roster. And for me, I'm always a fan of development. We heard Maestro talking about these young guns. You know, they're young, they've got energy. You kind of mold them, the profile. For Liberty, AC and Juliera were supposed to be those pieces, right? They crushed the academy system back on Pain Gaming Academy. They got picked up this split, and we see it, like you said, glimmers of amazing play from them, especially in the early game. But it hasn't quite fully translated to CBLOL, and now with the split under their belt, they're still rookies. But at this point, I am expecting to see them kind of adapt a little bit more to the standard meta of CBLOL with these sort of scaling AD carries. I want to see Juliera have his pop-up Zeri moment.
Yeah, we're looking to get some polish on those diamonds coming up through the academy system. Yeah, Juliera in that last game went 39 minutes with the Lucian, managed to stack up pretty well. Now has one of the greatest scaling AD carries in the whole dang game with the Zeri. As mid lane, these trades are getting a bit dicey, and once again, Annie does seem to be getting the better of it. Yeah,
and actually, we should talk about Avenger a little bit here while we've got the time Trajan before things really kick off and people get their ultimates. Avenger just joining this roster, this split, replacing Piloto, another academy player. And so Avenger, a little bit more experienced, expecting to see a little bit more out of him as well. I don't know if it's going to be this game. We already touched on the Ari-Annie matchup not favoring him. And what we saw with Lava pushing him out, that's to be expected in the matchup.
yeah, didn't have the best of time on red last split, and we didn't really see as much of the proactivity and the kind of quick trigger plays I think we're used to seeing with Avenger when he's playing things like the Akala, the Assassins of old. But in that game one yesterday, we saw a little bit more of that, a little bit of the old Avenger coming out, and it wasn't quite enough to get them over the line, but he was certainly trying his damnedest to keep them in that game. A tough task in front of him as Julia. I love that, jumping in to block the attack on your own support, reversing the roles a bit.
Yeah, and good call from Julia as well. It is a bit of role reversal, but when your support's taking a beating like that and you've got the health to spare, that's a hallmark of a good AD carry, to be able to turn things around. Junglers, it's been a little bit quiet so far, Trajan. We've not seen too much excitement, and I am seeing AC sniff around the bot lane. I would love to see some action happen. Problem is, for all that Natuno's pushing out Juliera and was a little bit, he's not actually pushing the wave. He's just stepping up and chasing them off the wave.
Yeah, they've given us plenty of time to talk about these players. Very kind, very polite of the players in this game number 5, but we have seen some craziness on the Rift in the CBLOL, as we would expect already today, RMC, and I'm ready for one last game of it. So now Chiari has taken control of this top side. Remember, the Gragas originally kind of entered into that meta as such a good answer to the Jax, and Chiari's still making good use of it here.
Yeah, and Chiari, a top laner who we've talked a lot about, like Trigo damage. Chiari was in that same Renska roster when they first went to finals, and Chiari is a top laner that a lot of Brazilian top laners have praised. FMV's, given a nod, recognized how good this guy is. And for Liberty, even when they've struggled last split, even when they're on their 5-13 record, Chiari was often the bright shining spot.
Oh, AC with an angle onto Lava. They couldn't find the charm just yet. It's a quick flash from the Annie. Will keep the Los mid laner alive, but tricky pathway from their AC going over the wall from the Dragon.
Not quite the first blood we were hoping for, but with flash down Trajan, I have high hopes that we see maybe a repeat gank. Avenger did burn the Spirit Rush, and Lava still has Timbers, so Los Grandes has a little bit of an edge now if a skirmish were to break up. In 6 minutes, Dragon is on the table, as I say that.
Well, there it goes. And it does take re-control of the lane. It gets control of the health advantage again. Both of them basically without mana, without TP, so a lot of the bite has gone out of these trades for the time being in mid.
Yeah, neither mid laner has TP left, so neither of them can just recall, get right back to it, get right back to it. They actually have to play a little bit carefully. Are we, though? I mean, you can see Lava's pushing, Avenger isn't, so one of them's chilling.
Lava maybe perhaps not getting quite so chill as Trick uses this time to get onto the Dragon, and with AC up on the top side. He could look for top lane, but this objective will be picked up. Chiari baiting ball into a fight he doesn't want to take, forces the flash with the cask, and now can AC get in range to sew up this kill as the flash ready, dives in, a lovely counter strike, keeps ball alive, somehow he slips away.
I cannot believe that ball playing that perfectly, and for AC, you could have flashed forward to get the burst of damage faster, but AC's holding that flash for now, and to me, that's fine. But then I want to see that impact at level 6 when you get that Cyclone. I want to see a big play happen somewhere for Liberty. They've already fallen behind a little bit with that pill gank. Los Grandes were able to pick up their first Drake uncontested.
Gotta respect the nerves of steel from Boyle in top lane right there, but a lot of value picked up on the bot side of the map by Trick. Free reign to take that Dragon, grabbing the Scuttle, getting a bit of vision, a bit of safety around this all-important bot lane, around this living win condition that is Natuno, who has just hit level 6 himself, so even more power coming across the board.
And Orlo's not... actually, Natuno...
And in, he wants to leverage that power, drops the Moonlight Vigil, heals himself back with the Server Inversion. Liera and was still level 5, can't really hope to contest yet.
I was literally just about to say, Natuno does not need help in this 2v2. He is chilling, straight chilling and skilling, but he ain't chilling. He was going aggressive mid lane to drop again.
Very low, holds the Spirit Rush in fact, and the Flash, knows there's not enough damage to seal the deal as AC comes in to run interference.
And for Adventure, I don't know if you want to stick around, even with the Spirit Rush. Annie has a point and click stun with the Paramania, so that's not very safe of you. Trick recognizing this. Los Grandes playing really well actually as a team. Rotate right to that Herald. And AC has ultimate, Avenger has ultimate. What they lack is help.
Does have some defense, almost half HP right now. Currently just working on Tibbers, getting the bouncer out of the river as the Herald's already fallen. Los Grandes get to make the first move into the river, they'll walk away with the reward.
Okay, Trajan, I know what I'm going to say next isn't true. It's not like Liberty didn't care about the Herald, but it was just really funny watching Los Grandes do the Herald and watching Liberty do the little brother.
Yeah. That's the important objective right there. We focus, you know, we gotta big ups for the Scuttle. Don't forget about him. It's very important down there.
Yeah, gotta share the love. Unfortunately for Liberty, they were trying to get Chiari in position, but because of where the Herald was pulled out to, and because Chiari had to take the long way around, they just weren't able to call in the support. So Liberty giving that over in full awareness that they didn't want to give up kills. They're thinking that's more important in the early game. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, Trajan, because sometimes that Herald can give you the gold that can very quickly blow the game open, especially for an aggressive team like Los Grandes.
Exactly, we're still waiting for that first big fight to break out. Still 0-0, approaching the 10-minute mark. A bit of CBLCK for you here in game number 5. As we do see at least an advantage in the CS department for Juliera and for Chiari in top lane. So the laning phase going decently for Liberty. The gold basically even. Just the one dragon on the side of Los Grandes. So as we step forward into this mid game, which of these lanes do you think is most likely to break out in that fight with that first blood?
Ballin. No hesitation,
Really?
Ballin. Yeah, I think Avenger and Lava, they've been kind of going at it in the mid lane already, but I also think they know exactly how much damage each side does. Whereas in the bot lane, I still think that Liberty are going to try and play to his Juliera. And Natuno, you've already seen it. He's playing aggro regardless if he's got coverage or not.
Yeah, the man feels confidence regardless. The MVP of last split, you can see why the confidence is there. Herald dropped into the mid lane. Just the one plate, didn't quite get the second done. Not a huge amount of gold to the Los Grandes side. Now with AC heading back onto the map, both junglers still heading onto that bot side. We could see that first blood in that lane erupt before long.
I actually like this idea from AC. Because there's that sliver of a plate, you know that Lava wants to get it. And if Lava ever makes sense, you can try and collapse in. So I think AC was kind of hovering mid, seeing if he could find anything. And if not, hey, pick up Avenger and let's go for a road trip down bot.
Ooh, aggressive moves into the jungle by AC, but pieces out, back into the pit, not fully committing. A lot of uncharacteristic restraint from Liberty here, perhaps with you know, some of the the influences of Avenger, and was a little bit more controlled in the way they approached the early game.
Damn it, the caster curse is not strong enough, Trajan. We're not able
I tried. I tried to be like, oh, they're so slow, they're not going to fight here, hoping that they would instantly just bum rush into each other, but sadly, yeah, your curse is better than mine, I think.
11.5 minutes so far, and no first blood, Trajan. You can't even say it's not for lack of trying. In the mid lane, they've kind of been going at it, but everywhere else, yeah, there was the really good attempt top lane, but Bo just managed to kind of stifle that one. Now, I'm hoping with Mythic's picked up bot lane, we might see a little bit more action. Dragon is coming up as well in 10 seconds, and traditionally in CBLOL, objectives are where we see things come to a head. So, 10 seconds, teams, they're moving.
Yep, here they go. Bowl running down. He doesn't have the TP, so if he wants to be, he's got to go early. Aggressed onto Lava, but no charm landing. Trick holding fort in the mid lane with Yuumi on the back. Another TP comes in from Chiari. Just finished the Everfrost. A lot of power in the Liberty inventories. Commits the Shwani ultimate onto AC Tippers, pummeling him down.
The
Tuno flashes in.
There we go.
Blood for the AD carry. Flashes forward to keep this fight rolling. And Liberty are the ones skulking back to their jungle.
No shot, Trajan. We waited 12 minutes and only one person died. Really low health bars for Liberty on multiple members, but they limp away alive. And Los Grandes, they get the first blood, they get the dragon, but I cannot think that their bloodthirst has been sated by that little tease.
Not right, Natuno, just a taste of what's to come perhaps, though he has left himself summonerless after that. Maybe a window to punish in the next few minutes, but he has got that first blood, he's got that gold accelerating. Juliera, a good attempt by him for sure, it was a little close for comfort. Completely
blind, by the way. They had no vision. Yeah. Juliera was just going strictly off timing. And cheeky, I like it though. You lose nothing for it. Might as well try. Not close. And for now, Liberty, the bot lane's doing fine. They just, it's fine. You've got a Zeri. You can keep skilling.
Yeah, exactly. AC again, aggressive maneuvers into the jungle, finds a low health Trick, but doesn't have a whole lot of returning members from the bot lane. Natuno, in fact, the first to start wandering over. Ari again coming through. Looks like Liberty really want to make something stick on this side of the map. It's on vision.
Yeah. The funny part is
they're all on vision.
It shouldn't work, Trajan, but it's oddly close, and that feels like it's because both teams kind of want to scrap. But they know there's nothing worth scrapping over in this jungle. Like, give up the chickens. It ain't the end of the world. So AC able to get that one away. No real action. And with that, where's our hope, Trajan? Dragon happened. We only got one kill. Hardly any blood. Herald?
It's a darn
40
shame.
seconds?
We've got a Herald in 40. Yeah, we got something going on up there. Perhaps we could see a little bigger of a blowout, and by that time I imagine we might see a couple more of those mythics come through, a little more confidence in the inventories from either side. But it has been by and large a very controlled game from both sides. None of the messiness, none of the early action, and we would kind of expect this. You know, I think a lot of just the names that we see on Los Grandes side, you'd expect them to be able to control the game. They've got the history to show they should have an advantage, but Liberty as well, not being drawn into any silliness. They are definitely approaching this with a cool head.
Yeah, and that actually surprises me a lot, because Trajan, for Los Grandes, we expect them to be more tempered. Now Ranger can focus on shot calling. He's probably trying to think, no, this is not worth it. Let's not throw, let's not coin flip. But Liberty, this is a young roster, so just doing the shot calling for them, because, again, as you pointed out, they're remarkably tempered.
Perhaps the influence of vods down on that support role, but it is Liberty starting up this Herald. The
Here we
TPs
go.
are dropping. Natuno's here. I think we might get a little bit more.
too
Let's
late?
pray to the blood for the
go.
blood god, everybody, as AC finds the Herald. Aniel is committed. Lovely Sejuani to just slide me out. AC and now all the rest of the members piling into the river. AC managed to get back to safety. Tipper's chasing him down. Lava flashes forward, but can't secure the kill. And after that, RMC, I can't believe it. No deaths.
CBLC, Trajan. Luxu is the team with the partnership with the LCK
Come on now.
with T1. What?
Oh.
Did Liberty sneak a boot camp in Korea while we weren't watching?
They must have. They piggybacked. I think they were in the hold of that plane. They snuck out. Maybe gave to Genji's headquarters or something. Because I don't know. They managed to get that Herald. Managed to skulk away without losing anything. Yes, they're slightly down now, but there is gold to be picked up on the map with that objective.
Yeah, that was really clean from Liberty to get in and out. Kiari's explosive cask as well. No hesitation. Sometimes we see teams like not quite sure, are we going in, are we going out? But Liberty, they all got the memo. They all read the same book, and Kiari, as soon as explosive cask came out, pieced out. Los Grandes kind of left not getting anything. They committed the TP as well from Lava to be able to do that, and Bull, it's kind of low now.
Oh, wait for the cooldowns. Comes out with a counter strike and no E to get away by Kiari. Bowl could find the solo kill, or maybe he served himself up on a silver platter. The minions chunking him down. Does Kiari have a barrel? He doesn't quite yet. And Bowl tries to pick up the minions, but AC's round the corner. The Herald's going down for sure.
Yeah, and that was initiated by Bull, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
If you're up against an auto attacker, I respect what Bull tried to do. With Counter Strike, you can win a lot of trades. Guess what Gragas is? He's not a traditional bruiser. He isn't auto attacking you. He just wants a drink, my friend. And unfortunately, Jax looks like a bit of a lightweight in that department right now.
Yeah, he just has to press a button. He starts regaining HP as well. Kiari managed that one very well. Gets the second charge off as well from the Herald. And again, nobody dies. nobody dies, RMC. He walks away once again. And now we have mythics and first main items kind of across the board. Only Lulu yet to complete one.
Yeah, and Trajan, you're talking about Liberty from last split, the early flashbacks. I'm going to be honest, this looks nothing like what I remember, but it's looking good. And I'm not going to complain if Liberty continue playing this really measured game where they're just taking smaller risks.
Oh no, hold the phone. AC walks smack dab into Annie, but again gets away. A lovely cast from Kiari with a re-engage with the final chapter. Can Lost finally make something stick? Absolutely not. Furious slides to safety.
And considering that AC walked face first into that Timbers, they got away remarkably light. There's hardly any punishment. Bull wants to continue this, but you can see Kiari is just having none of it. Bull has no good way of actually engaging this.
The main difference we do see here is that Lost has two dragons that are looking to make it a third. Liberty, you can't afford to always just be on the disengage now. Bowl aggressive onto AC, stops the Wukong flank coming through. As he lays a lot of damage, but has he stepped too far forward? Bowl left on his own. Lava trying to get him out, and the dragon's still fairly healthy.
Kiari just walking in there, no explosive cast, but he's got the body slams, and Trick is tanking up this dragon, taking quite a bit of damage from it.
Someone has to die, surely. Kiari commits. There's no way he gets away. He flashes back into the pit. He's not even dead yet, but Natuno is there. Natuno never fails to deliver. Inferno tears across the side of Liberty. We called for kills. We called for blood, RMC. And Natuno gives us a quadra.
Trajan, are you 3 for 3? Have you gotten 3 quarters in all 3 of the games you've cast today? 18.5 minutes, Trajan, it took for us to get a proper fight, but Natuno delivered, and that had to be a crit on that Infernum out. No other way you do that much damage to that many people in one shot.
Just look at the scorelines, RMC. We came into this game, I was thinking Natuno, he's the one I'm sure about. Everyone else, I don't know. Could be good, could be bad, but Natuno we know. Natuno we can believe in. And look at him there, 5-0-0. Every kill in the game is on this man.
Yeah, and for Los Grandes, I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If Natuno is carrying, just enable the man to do that much more. And I want to highlight that this was actually killed by Liberty. Watch Chiari going in there. He doesn't have ultimate. He's just trying to force something, but his team wasn't quite ready to follow up. AC, no Cyclone, and low on health. And because Chiari went in alone, he just gets nuked out. And Los Grandes, I've got numbers advantage. I'm going in. Natuno, the Moonlight Vigil, he even flashed forward to get it. And sure enough, yeah, that was a crit. Their health bars evaporated.
Such a nifty little backstep from Natuno, avoids the body slam, still gets hit by the charm, but there's just no follow-up. The Yumi's there doing its job. Natuno never even breaks a sweat and accelerates right past the Kraken Slayer mark in this build. This man is now, most wanted, public enemy #1. You have to deal with him or you are just going to lose this game.
And for Liberty, do you have the tools to do that? Avenger went utility Ari.
Going in, pushes AC back once again, but he's dropped ever so low. Lava flashes the double stun! Forces the continuation. Juliera burning away. Just about makes it back to the tower. Chiari not so lucky. And suddenly Los Grandes, they've come alive.
Yeah, but Juliera is still alive. And Trajan, you mentioned that Los Grandes has come alive. They should. That was a huge win for them on that bot side. They know that they're the stronger team now, and with added gold in their pocket. Now, starting up Baron at 20 minutes, this one's a little bit scary because you don't do Baron that quick and debuff stacks really fast.
Oh, they're fully committing over onto AC. Lava always on the hunt for him. Avenger running interference, finds a charm, gets Liberty out safely. The Baron not fully reset. They're going to have to go for round 2 on this steal. I don't know if it's possible.
They're on wards, they're on vision, and Avenger's in trouble.
He really is. Pops the Spirit Rush, a TP coming through. Baron not done just yet. Trick's trying to just need to finish it off. The fight splitting apart. A little is lost. Find the buff. Avenger caught on the wrong side of town and was as well served up to Boal. And Liberty, all of a sudden, it's just gone from bad to worse. So, the CBLCK game, RMC, we have for the first 15 minutes, turned into a 20-minute Baron buff. What is going on?
We're back from the boot camp, Trajan. We're back at the CBLOL. This is
We're
round
home,
2.
baby.
They've woken up and realized this ain't scrims, this ain't practice no more. And Los Grandes, the thing for me was less on Los Grandes and more on Liberty. Juliera was farming bot the entire time. He was low on health. He did not reset. So the call from Liberty was simply, we're going for the steal. But that wasn't what happened. When Chiari came in, they committed to a fight. And look on the mini-map on the bottom right. Juliera is nowhere close. Never going to show up to this fight. And I respect AC, I respect Avenger for what they're doing. This is what you need to do. Just look for the steal. Nothing more.
Really were, I guess, just a little bit off the same page right here. Not sure what they wanted to do. And you can see Avenger, he's trying to find a kill, trying to get into the pit. He still has the Spirit Rush, but lost. Gatekeeper them out. The full 3 members outside the pit just saying, absolutely not, you come nowhere near.
Yeah, and pardon me, so Chiari came in, and it was actually Avenger who decided to kind of go in there, and perhaps a bit of a misdecision, miscall after such a clean early game. Big question marks. I do want to give props to Boal as well, because in the top lane, he was struggling a little bit against Chiari, but against anybody not named Chiari, nobody really had a good answer. Yeah, they both just walked up and they were like, oh, we can't stop him. Chiari, bro, we need you now.
Yeah, you know, he's struggling in that, what at least was originally pitched to me as a counter matchup, and still managed to get away from the gank, didn't give up the deaths, and once he had to be important, now he's getting so much value. Los Grandes, the inside track onto the spot lane tower, Liberty currently sitting around mid lane. We need to find a plan here, guys, and we need to find one fast.
Yeah, and for Liberty, the big thing, as you kind of mentioned, was public enemy #1. How do we kill Natuno? If you can't reach Natuno, you simply don't win fights. And for Liberty, when Los Grandes is pushed to your base like that, that is the best shot you get at trying to find that backline. If you can't find Natuno there, I don't know where you're going to find him.
See, poking onto Boal, but the easy counter-strike gets him away, and the topside jungle there you can see lit up with blue vision. Avenger, they know exactly where he is as the Hextech Dragon spawns. Feels like we've got a lot of Hextech souls today, RMC. Liberty, they don't want this smoke anymore. They don't want the fight. They're just going to trade it for the objective bounty.
CBLOL must love Los Grandes right now, giving them a Hextech Soul on top of an already incredibly strong team. We saw in the last two fights, Netuno kind of gets to just walk free in these fights. He just walks forward and people die. This time, Liberty don't even have the option of walking away. If Netuno walks at you, tags you once, the slow is going to be enough for everybody to just catch up and keep on chasing.
Los Grandes will not find any recalls in that top side of the map. Back out with the remainders of the buffs, pushing up this top lane wave. They've already got the inhib to play around. And we saw a couple of absolute messes in games 2 and 4. See, 4-4 and Axeman 87 had a blast in those middle games. We've also seen some controlled, some measured, some one-sided games for us. We've seen some of these teams start to sift themselves up to the top and are really showing some of that controlled, just flowchart by the book macro that we do want to see out of our teams in winning positions.
We've seen 3 quadras in 3 different games, Trajan, at different stages of the game.
Yeah.
You know what? I ain't complaining about clean play. As a color caster, I enjoy clean play. And Los Grandes, we saw Red get a massive lead, not dissimilar to what we're seeing from Los Grandes, but they took about 10 minutes to close out. Can Los beat that?
To Avenger. Oh my word, Lava drops a bomb on Waz's head. Another flank from AC. The Cyclone finds nobody. Goes to the uprights and Netuno with nothing left to stop this man. Goes absolutely wild on him. Pops up another triple. And this game could be moving to a close.
Okay, yeah, we aren't going to talk about what happened to Ranger there. He did his job. They won the fight. Netuno, where's he going? Are they just going to push the end from bot side? Okay.
He's bored. He's got somewhere to be right now, you know? Nothing's stopping this guy. 9 kills, 0 deaths. Pushing with the TP and Los Grandes at 25 minutes. Could be one of the fastest games we've had in Split 2 so far. A very, very convincing week 1 in the end.
I believe it is the shortest game. Yesterday was 32:05 for the shortest game, and this one's beating it handily. Trajan, Los Grandes is not messing around. I was just comparing them to Red, who took 10 minutes to end the game. Los Grandes took like, what, 10 seconds? Okay, probably like 30, but still, really, really fast.
It's such a good point. It felt like Red, where we were just waiting, kind of tapping our foot, just going, are we done yet? Like, it feels like we're done, but we're still playing the game. Like, when are we going to close this one out? And Los Grandes, as you say, showed none of that hesitation. We saw some of those pieces start to come together. Lava, another excellent Annie performance. The mid Annies have been racking heads today. And Netuno, what more can we say? The man is the MVP. He is showing that today.
And one thing I want to